Welcome to Top 10, the home of rapid-fire rankings. From fascinating facts to the freshest trends, we unveil the best of the best, all in a bite-sized package. Immerse yourself in a world where less is more and seconds count. Stay curious, stay engaged, and remember, life is always surprising when you're counting down with Top 10.
Let's talk about something that keeps many of us up at night. The housing market. Specifically, why does it feel like finding a decent, affordable place to live in this country requires selling your soul? Even with my HBO salary, the whole housing situation is enough to make me want to move back in with my mom. So, buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into the great American housing crisis. Let's start with the very foundation of this mess: zoning laws. On the surface, they sound reasonable enough, right? Rules about what you can and can't build in certain areas. But here's the kicker. In many cities, these zoning laws are so restrictive, so aggressively pro-single-family home, that they've choked the life out of affordable housing options. We're talking about rules that make it near impossible to build apartments, townhouses, or anything other than a detached McMansion. When you artificially limit the supply of housing in the face of ever-increasing demand, guess what happens? Prices skyrocket. So, while those lovely zoning laws might sound good in theory, in practice, they're about as effective as a chocolate fire guard. Now, let's talk about those mysterious figures lurking in the shadows of the housing market: foreign investors. For wealthy individuals and corporations overseas, American real estate can seem like a pretty sweet deal. The problem is, when these investors swoop in with briefcases full of cash, they drive up prices for everyone else. Imagine trying to buy a house in your neighborhood, only to find yourself bidding against a Russian oligarch. Many of these properties end up sitting empty, serving as glorified safety deposit boxes for foreign capital. So not only are they driving up prices, they're also taking homes off the market, further exacerbating the housing shortage. Airbnb, the app that promised to revolutionize travel and ended up becoming the poster child for unintended consequences. Renting out your spare room can be a great way to make some extra cash and meet new people. But when entire homes and apartments are being converted into short-term rentals, it puts a real strain on the long-term rental market. Suddenly, there are fewer places available for people who actually want to live in the city they work in. As demand for long-term rentals increases while supply dwindles, prices go up, up, up. So while Airbnb might be a dream for travelers, it's become a bit of a nightmare for anyone trying to find an affordable place to call home. Now let's talk about something that strikes fear into the hearts of potential homeowners everywhere: interest rates. When interest rates are low, borrowing money is relatively cheap, which means more people can afford to take out a mortgage and buy a home. But when those rates start to climb, watch out. Suddenly, those monthly payments become about as appealing as a root canal without anesthesia. Even a small increase in interest rates can add tens of thousands of dollars to the overall cost of your mortgage. So, yeah, those little numbers pack a big punch. Congratulations, you've managed to navigate the treacherous waters of the housing market and finally close on your dream home. Now, time to relax and enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? Not so fast. Homeownership comes with a whole host of hidden costs that can quickly turn your dream into a financial nightmare. We're talking about things like property taxes, which can fluctuate wildly depending on where you live. Then there's homeowners insurance, because apparently Mother Nature has a wicked sense of humor and loves to throw unexpected disasters your way. And let's not forget about maintenance. That leaky faucet, the creaky floorboards, the rogue raccoon living in your attic, those all require money to fix, my friend. Okay, so we've established that the housing market is a bit of a mess. But fear not, dear viewers, because there are some glimmers of hope amidst the chaos. Enter government housing programs. Programs like FHA loans, which are insured by the Federal Housing Administration, can be a lifeline for first-time homebuyers. They typically require lower down payments and credit scores than conventional loans, making homeownership more accessible to a wider range of people. It might not be a perfect solution, but it can make all the difference in the world. Gentrification, the G word that can spark heated debates and neighborhood protests. It's the process of renovating and revitalizing deteriorated urban areas, which, on the surface, sounds like a good thing, right? But here's the catch. Gentrification often leads to rising property values and displacement of long-term residents who can no longer afford to live in their own neighborhoods. When it comes at the expense of pushing out the very people who give a neighborhood its character and soul, it's time to ask some serious questions about who benefits from these so-called improvements. Let's talk about those three little digits that hold an inordinate amount of power over your financial life: your credit score. This seemingly simple number can dictate so much about your future, from the car you drive to the home you live in. It's like a report card for your financial responsibility, and unfortunately, it seems like everyone from landlords to potential employers is obsessed with it. They scrutinize it, analyze it, and make decisions about you based on it. And when it comes to buying a home, your credit score is practically everything. It's the golden ticket that can open doors to your dream home or slam them shut. A good credit score can mean the difference between getting approved for a mortgage with a decent interest rate and being stuck renting an overpriced studio apartment with questionable plumbing. It can save you thousands of dollars over the life of a loan. If your credit score is on the VIP list, you're ushered in with open arms. Lenders compete for your business, offering you the best rates and terms. But if your score is less than stellar, you're stuck outside, wondering what you did wrong in your financial past to deserve such a fate. It can feel like a never-ending cycle of rejection and frustration, making it hard to move forward. All right, let's wrap things up on a slightly more optimistic note, shall we? It's easy to get bogged down by the challenges and frustrations of the traditional housing market, but there are rays of hope shining through the clouds. While the traditional housing market might seem like a rigged game, there are some alternative models out there that offer a glimmer of hope. These alternatives are designed to make housing more accessible and equitable for everyone. Enter housing cooperatives and community land trusts. These innovative models are gaining traction as viable solutions to the housing crisis. These models prioritize community ownership and affordability over profit, providing a much-needed alternative to the cutthroat world of traditional real estate. They focus on creating stable, long-term housing solutions that benefit the community as a whole. Housing cooperatives, or co-ops, are owned and controlled by their residents, giving them a say in how the building is run and ensuring that their needs are met. This democratic approach fosters a sense of community and shared responsibility. Community land trusts, on the other hand, are non-profit organizations that own the land beneath homes, leasing it to residents at affordable rates. This model separates the cost of the land from the cost of the home, making homeownership more attainable. This helps to keep housing prices stable and prevents displacement, even as the surrounding area might experience gentrification. By focusing on long-term affordability and community stability, these models offer a promising path forward in the quest for fair and accessible housing for all. Okay, so maybe you're thinking, co-ops and land trusts sound great and all, but what about something a little more unconventional? What if you want to break free from the norm and explore housing options that are truly unique and tailored to your lifestyle? Well, my friend, let's dive into the wild world of tiny homes and alternative housing solutions. These options are not just about living differently. They are about embracing a new way of life. Tiny homes, for example, offer a minimalist and often more affordable way of life. They encourage you to declutter and focus on what truly matters. By living in a tiny home, residents can significantly reduce their environmental footprint and escape the crushing weight of a 30-year mortgage. Imagine the freedom of not being tied down by massive debt. Plus, you can literally take your home with you if you ever decide to move, which is pretty cool. It's like having the ultimate flexibility to live wherever you want. Then there are other innovative solutions, like co-living spaces. These spaces are designed to foster a sense of community and shared living. Co-living offers a more community-oriented approach to housing, where you can share amenities and build meaningful connections with your neighbors. And let's not forget about converted shipping containers. These homes are not only eco-friendly, but also incredibly stylish and functional. Shipping container homes can be surprisingly stylish and functional, offering a unique living experience that stands out from traditional housing. You're no longer limited to the traditional options of a single-family home or an apartment. The possibilities are endless. You can create a living situation that truly fits your needs and budget. Whether it's a tiny home, a co-living space, or a shipping container home, the choice is yours to make. So there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the American housing crisis. We've covered everything from zoning laws to foreign investors to the terrifying power of credit scores. It's enough to make you want to give up and live in a yurt in the woods, isn't it? But before you start investing in canned goods and learning how to forage for mushrooms, remember this. The housing crisis didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to be solved overnight either. It's going to require systemic change, creative solutions, and a whole lot of collective action. Because everyone deserves a safe, affordable place to call home, even if it's not a McMansion with a 2-car garage and a perfectly manicured lawn.
Thanks for watching Top 10 Countdowns. Desire more? Glide your cursor to the subscribe button, give it a click. Don't forget that notification bell. It's your golden ticket to our world of riveting Top 10 Countdowns. See you soon in the next video.